Igbo presidency, and we're going through the possible runners and riders. We're discussing Oji Uzo Kalu at the moment. Jim Nwobodo, yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody that looks as young as you do, you probably don't know who Jim Nwobodo is, but Jim Nwobodo, not to be patronizing or anything, but Jim Nwobodo was a former governor of Anambra State under completely in another time, in space and time. So he is also agitating. So it's the agitation essentially for Igbo presidency and the possible names. So introduce yourself and tell us how you are positioned.
My name is Ovi Agbaje. To be precise, I'm actually calling in from Dallas. I'm a Nigerian, if you can tell from the name, from Edo State. Well, Igbo presidency come 2023, I think it's rather too late. And I don't think it's something that is foreseeable in the nearest future for so many reasons. One being that politics is a game, but unfortunately, it's a game of life and death. And as far as Nigeria is concerned, the Igbos are not playing their game at all. They are not playing their game at all. First of all, you are just a section of the Igbo elite who are clamoring for this presidency. The young Igbos who are saying, well, we are tired of Nigeria, we need Biafra, we want to go. And while there are some other section of the Igbos who can't believe that, yes, we want to remain in Nigeria, but we need to be restructured. So they are everywhere. You can't win the presidency of a country such as Nigeria when even your house is not in order. If you look at the Northerners, for instance, they also have their own issues. But when it comes to the national table, they are always together. So talking about the good presidency in 2023 is not something they don't even want it. That's just one thing. If they do, they won't go about it.
But Ovie, you cannot say that. You cannot say they do not want it, because they actually do want it. Because the Igbo setting, the Igbo scenario is a very complex scenario, and you have different, very strongly held belief system within that space. So you're saying they don't want it because, of course, off the back of this just relentless agitation for Biafra that we're all...
Just because you are talking about it doesn't mean they want it.
Of course they want it.
That's what I'm saying. You are talking about the president of 200 million people.
Exactly. Who wouldn't want that?
They want it. When you say they want it, talking about it is gone beyond talking about it. What proactive measure are they taking?
Well, the proactive measures that they are taking is that they are canvassing support from other sections of the country. Hold on, let me finish. I'll let you come back. They are canvassing support from other sections of the country, and they are also trying to pressure that blackmail or guilt trip to say that everybody has had a turn at the presidency apart from an Igbo person. So they are going through all the...
I'm a proud member of a Lazy Nigerian Youth Worldwide. I would like to come in from this angle where...
Don't try that, though. Young millionaire, who are you fooling? Eh?
As a typical Nigerian, amen, amen, I claim it.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I want to come in from where you guys are talking about that the average Hausa man, Fulani man is not civilized. And I'm kind of surprised. What is civilization? Are you trying to say just because they don't adhere to your own way of life, that means they are not civilized? I mean, again, that also brings me to the notion that says Aboki is an illiterate, Aboki is an illiterate. You keep saying these people are illiterate, but they keep beating you to the game every single year, 4 years, 4 years.
Are you saying they are civilized?
What is the definition of civilization? What is civilization? What do you mean by
civilization? Is being consistent with globally accepted norms of behavior and human practices. You know, be civil to your partner. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. cooperating to form a better society, not looking to repress, advancing in your mental thoughts.
And the Fulani man who has been forefront of world leadership from time immemorial.
Forefront of what?
Leadership.
Forefront of what?
They've been leading. They've been in charge of leadership for as long as you can remember.
In Nigeria, you mean?
Not at all.
In Nigeria, you mean?
What if the Fulani race is not just Nigerian, it's not just a Nigerian race.
Listen, the Fulani, yes, they conquered the Sahel. Anywhere that matters, they haven't conquered anywhere that matters. The farthest they got,
sorry, let me cut it. Where do you say anywhere that? So Nigeria don't matter.
What I'm talking about. So when you talk about geography, most places that matter are coastal regions. I mean, that's just nature.
Nigeria doesn't matter because as we speak, they are our new colony. They are colonial masters right now. So Nigeria doesn't matter. If that's what you are saying.
What you're saying. They haven't conquered Nigeria.
They haven't conquered Nigeria.
Ovie, let me just land, please. They were handed Nigeria by the British.
Exactly. I wanted to say that.
Why?
I wanted to say that, Ayo.
Why were they?
Ayo, let Ovie make his point because Ovie is very controversial. Yeah,
will you handle your company to an incompetent person?
Yes, if that incompetent person does my bidding over the smart people.
So what is the definition of smartness?
So it has nothing to do with it.
No, hold on, everybody. Hold on.
You say they are not smart.
Ovie, this is a...
Hold on, everybody. We're getting bogged down in semantics. Let's keep it on the thrust of the issue. And the central question in play now is really disintegration or balkanization. So that's setting the tone then for a narrative. So Ovie, I'll bring you back on. So let's not talk over each other as well. So that others can hear what we're saying. So Ovie, you can chime in now, but don't. I mean, obviously, I don't have to tell you, how to.
No problem.
So carry on. Yeah, Ovie.
Disintegration, Mbano, is never going to happen. With Nigeria has passed that stage, it will never happen. Now, for the Igbo clamoring for presidency, their argument is weak. Because I can also make the same argument. No, saying you are marginalized is not a reason for me to handle you presidency. I'm an Edo man. I'm also marginalized. None of my presidents has ever been a president. Is that a good reason for me to be clamoring for presidency? No. It's a game. Get into it. Play your game. If you are convincing enough, if you're able to persuade people enough, you'll be at the front. I heard somebody saying that the Hausa man is not ready to negotiate. No, your offer is not juicy enough. If I want the same thing that you have or you want, and I approach you, you said no, I'll go back and sit down. Why is this person saying no? I will find it out. It's just a matter of time. But coming out here and say, oh, we be marginalized, we deserve to be. No, it doesn't happen. We are talking about power here. At that level, it transcends emotion. Nobody cares who you are or where you are coming from. It's what do you have to offer? What is your bargaining power? What are you giving me for you to earn my support? We are all a stakeholder in this country. I have the same right as a Fulani man. I have the same right as an Igbo man. I have the same right as a Yoruba man. So why are you saying they should give it to you because you've never been there before? Those who were there, how did they get there? They play their game. Hausa man know how to do it. The Hausa man know how to take the Yoruba man to bed.
Hold on, Ovie. Ayo just told you how they got there. Now they were gifted it by the British. That was how they got there. They were gifted it.
They were gifted.
One word. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Ovie, when you get off this platform today, go on YouTube, search for Harold Smith. He's a British guy who was an administrator during colonial times, and he explains in an interview very clearly why they gave the Fulanis power.
Okay.
Why the British gave Harold Smith.
So what do you now?
Okay.
What are you now asking?
Ovie, sorry, hold your thought because I'm trying to just balance for everybody. Let's hear from Soji and then Be Wise so that we can at least hear their voice and then where they stand in the conversation. And then everybody, then I'll come back to you because I think you've not had a full expression yet, Ovie. So Soji, introduce yourself. I know you, but others might not. I think Isaac knows this as well. But introduce yourself, tell us where you stand in the conversation. Just give us a brief intro. Then I'll go to BY so that he can do the same as well. So then we're all together in the conversation. So off you go, Soji.
Thank you very much. Well, in Nigerian, Yoruba, for living in the UK, obviously interested in our dear nation becoming something real in this world. To say something on the subject, I sympathize with Ovie's point of view in terms of civilization. Especially for us Nigerians, this word civilization is almost used as an abuse of the other, rather than really down what it actually means. However, that's not my point. I feel that Nigeria as a nation, as we all feel, is a big failure in all our hearts and minds. More than that, I feel that nobody really within these conversations that we're having has any level of outcome, be it breakup or restructuring. The outcome is far from clear. And if it's going to become anything, the outcome has to be realized mentally now, because the tomorrows are short. Right now, the world is so interested in Africa, it's just going to be taken over again. And the only thing and the only peoples that will stand in its way are those peoples that belong to what we call Nigeria. And I feel that we're failing in our commentary, in our assertions, in our government, most definitely failing. And we're not really coming down to what it is that we need to do. We say that the Fulanis are the ones disturbing Nigeria. And definitely that can be seen. But I think as Ayo has underlined, that the Fulanis have been conducted largely by the British. So therefore, our war with the Fulanis, or is our war with the British? Do we know how to aim accurately? I feel our aim in shooting the culprit, it's just our speech is hardly accurate either.
So you are dipping in and out a bit, but can I just ask you to land the point so I can bring BYC in, and then yep. I'll take Ayo's closing remarks so I can bring somebody else in because there are people lined up.
I like you very much, but your interruptions are momentous. I just really like to say that the way we are going about our discussions, the way we are going about our change, because we need to change to get any level of success, it is still infighting. And I feel that it's a big waste of our time.
What is your recommendation in terms of what direction what is just briefly?
Is much, because I've been on this subject for a very long time. Right. My recommendation is such that right now we have to call our father's name. I'm a Yoruba. The next person is Igbo. Forget Biafra. In terms of, there's no real something. Let the Igbos call themselves Igbos. Let the Ijos call themselves Ijos. Let's be clear on who we're dealing with as the people who belong to that nation. All this confounded approach is never going to get. It's very frustrating to listen to our discourse, and we are supposed to be going anywhere. We're not.
Okay, thank you, Soji. The line is a bit bad, so let me go on to Be Wise. But before I go on to Be Wise, let us acknowledge Isaac's son. Isaac, your son is more handsome than you. I'm sure he got his look from Madame. Okay, so yeah. What's your name? Can you hear me? Oh, there you go. It's a bit shy. Okay, let me go to Be Wise. Be Wise, introduce yourself and tell us where you stand in the conversation, just briefly, so I can take Ayo's closing remarks and then bring Professor Data O in, because there are people lined up. So Be Wise, you're up.
Thank you for having me. I am Be Wise. I'm reaching you from Australia.
Oh, dear.
And I must have to say a big thank you for bringing us such platform. Yesterday was my first time joining this program. And I must tell you, you are doing a good job. If you can remember, I'm the one that said you are not a good moderator, that you have to improve.
This is it.
However,
I have to try and strike the balance, but carry on.
However, we are actually thinking about Africa. We are thinking about our nation, Africa. But
Africa is not a nation. Africa is a continent.
Okay, thank you.
Carry on. Carry on. I was only being pedantic. Well, carry on.
No worries. But our focus is
sorry to keep interrupting you. Quickly land on the point so that I can.
I'm going to land. To land. From the background, from all the things I've been seeing people participating in this platform, airing out their views, we are all giving our views from outside the country, Nigeria. No one on ground is saying anything. Those who join come to the comment section to comment. But I must have to tell you, what is stopping us from having that kind of enjoyment that we are having home, that we are having in our various places? What stops us from having it in Nigeria? Do we think about that very particular point? Or do we just sit back because we are in a comfort zone? We are enjoying the dividends. Probably most of us must have these passports and we are relaxed, thinking that, oh, we don't care about everyone else. We are like the politicians we have in Nigeria. That is what we are. If we should start thinking about bringing what we see around us home and make that country to be what we want, we can never continue to come on here and say things from time to time without any solution. We are not profiling solution. We are only addressing people and how the politicians have been doing things, the way they run the affairs of Nigeria. We should start bringing things we see abroad where we live back home. That is my stand. And stop coming up to tell us who is the, my brother Ovie was talking about the Fulanis being in government. What have they done? Nothing. Nothing. So what is the solution? How can we get out of this? That is my main point. We can't just come up and say, oh, these people is better than this, these people have been in power. What? Did you mute me? Okay, you're mute. So what the point I'm trying to make is that we all should make this platform a solution platform, not just an argument platform.
Sorry, Be Wise. I was talking to you. I didn't even know that I was off the screen as well. So I wanted to interject when you were saying you already know why the Nigerian state is not the way that you are enjoying in Australia. You know why. So you don't need anybody to say why. And you also know what will happen when you take that expertise to Nigeria, to whatever expertise that you have garnered wherever you are. You know what will happen when you take that expertise back to Nigeria. And if you don't know what will happen when you take that expertise back to Nigeria, go and speak to a gentleman called Sunday Igbo. What battered Sunday Igbo was a Yoruba doctor that had been a medical doctor in the United Kingdom for decades and decades, gathered his wealth from Oyibo land, and he decided that this wealth that he has gathered and the expertise that he has will be best served amongst his own people. So up he popped, and to Ibarapa he landed to set up a farm. What did the outcome of that get to? He was slaughtered like a ram. So this is what happens. This is why people are not taking that expertise to Nigeria. But we'll get Ayo to give us his closing remarks, because just to free up space so that others can come in. So Ayo, what would you like us to take away from this session as we attempt to bring others in to make their contribution as well? So Ayo.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks. So yeah, I mean, I'll touch on BY's point, as in he's all about solutions and not just talking all the time. And I see where he's coming from, and that, you know, that's ultimately what needs to be done. So as far as solutions go, this is the way it's going to work. Nigeria is not going anywhere with the constitution that we currently have. You know, I think a couple of segments ago you were having a debate about restructuring versus splitting up. The reality is, splitting up is a form of restructuring as well. It's
no. Don't do that, Ayo. You know what the choices are, and you know what the common balance is for its definition. So along those common balance lines, how would you weigh?
So you know, once again, if you just let me explain why they're pretty much the same thing. So when you say restructuring, basically a real restructure would sort of like give control of resources, the judiciary, the security.
No, that's not what restructuring means. Restructuring it simply means a weaker center and a more potent composing regions in effect. So the restructuring, as it's been discussed within the Nigerian space, is the things like the military, diplomacy, international relations, sport, etc., will be a centrally controlled thing. So the military, all of that, and then the resources will be devolved to the states so that they have a greater control of their resources, and then they pay royalty to the central body. So that is the restructure. Yeah.
That is exactly what I was saying. I said resources. The regions will have control over their resources. They will have control over their judiciary. They will have control over their security. They will have control over their education. That's what restructuring is. That's what a federation does. Like in the states, each state has its own laws. Each state is responsible for its own revenue generation, and then you pay a percentage to the central government. This is what Nigeria is trying to avoid, because the fat cats are all eating from that central pot, but the money comes there first before it goes anywhere else. So if they restructure, they get paid last after all the states and all the regions extract, you know, their portion, and they would rather watch the country burn down before they'll agree to that. So restructuring in the real sense is never going to happen in Nigeria, just because the fat cats in the center do not want to lose that bounty. I mean, that's huge. So it's going to be pretty much one of two things that's going to happen. The UN is either going to come in and conduct a referendum, or there's going to be a civil war, and at the end, everyone's going to go their way after many years and many millions of deaths. Those are the two options. That's pretty much going to pan out for Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Ayo. But before I let you go, of course, the invitation that I extended to everybody is in place. I don't think anybody on this platform has not enjoyed your words. Some of it I disagree with, of course, but you're so eloquent in the way you express yourself that sometimes we're subsumed by your eloquence that we don't press enough on the substance. But in addition to that invitation, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's my Instagram thing is there. If you are inclined, this is just an invitation. If you are inclined, if you DM me, I'd like to arrange a session where I actually get to pin you down, or you pin me down, just to interrogate these views that you do have, and you can press me on my views as well. Because of course, this mass of a place is not enough for us to do that. So I'm giving you that invitation, and hopefully, so that is Ayo, a gentleman. That much I think we can all agree on. I'll bring Professor Data O in, but Professor Data O, just put yourself on mute, and then we hear from Ovie, because Ovie has not yet had a full expression. So we hear from Ovie, and then we come to you, Professor Data O. So we know you.
I don't have any problem about that. No problem.
Okay, put yourself on mute, and then we hear from Ovie. Ovie,
okay.
What are you making of it so far?
So far, I mean, I think you know, we are getting carried away a bit by drifting away from the main question, which is you know, what is going to be best for, you know, the best way forward? Is it to let the secessionists go, or to sit down and restructure Nigeria? I think the feasible ways to restructure we are talking about. I, for one, believe that the 1999 Constitution is anti-people, so it's not for us. He has not speak in any way, shape, or form to our way of life. So for once, I am strongly in support of getting rid of the 1999 Constitution and come down and sit and write a constitution that will speak to our way of life. All these grievances that every section is expressing, they are all genuine. I mean, I know Nigeria today that said will be happy with what is going on, but it's a game thing. But as I always saying, it's unfortunate that it's a game of life and death. If we really want to move forward, we need to actually, put our emotions aside and see, the real problem to his face. The problem is we Nigerians. Everybody, it's that time we start, hold ourselves responsible. It's very easy for us to sit anywhere and call our leader out anytime, every now and then, and every 4 years they come around, they flash money around, and go back to business as usual. But how are we actually holding these people? Do we, the average Nigerian, actually know it's our responsibility to the state? We don't know. They don't teach us enough. It's not our fault, but at the same time, this is information age. So we should all find one way or the other to educate ourselves what is a state of a nation really is. What does it mean to be a citizen? This leadership, this system of government will decide to, be operating on. Is it actually the best way for us? Those are questions we need to sit down and begin to ask ourselves. And I think that our leaders understand this game so well that they are investing billions of naira to just make sure the average Nigerian is stay misinformed of how the system works. And that's why they are, me and you can sit here and accuse the Fulani man, accuse the Igbo man, accuse the Yoruba man. But at that level,
hold on, Ovie. Are you saying the Fulanis are not culpable of anything? Because you always seem to be wanting to exonerate them from, payment.
The Yoruba man is as much she has more blame as much as the Fulani man. Has the same blame as the Yoruba man. Has the blame I think the average Nigerian should start thinking like the elite, the way they think. Up there, they cut across religion, cut across tribes and ethnicity. They are one. They think as one. What will benefit them? That's what they think. If the average Nigerian begins to think like that, it's a game. As I said, it's a game of power. They come to appeal to our emotion, and they go back and do what appeals to them. So going for years, we need to restructure. We need to get rid of the 1997 Constitution. But how do we go about it? If we sit here and rely on these people that we have in the house to restructure the country for us, trust me, it's going to be worse off. How do we restructure? We the common man, we the common Nigerian need to start, need to start liaising, need to start coming together. We need to start having a common goal. Because we all believe that there's a problem in Nigeria, and majority of us we believe is the leadership. But how do we get rid of the leadership becomes a problem?
Okay. Hold that thought of it. Let's go to Isaac just to get his closing remarks, just so we don't hold him hostage all night. Isaac.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to let other people to talk. That is why I just have to make a brief comment and stay at the backstage. So to start with, I will first go to Ciro. He made mention about appointment of assigned key posts of Nigeria to Fulanis, which there is no doubt. I believe they have their plan. So even if Igbo become president in 2023, they are the people that are going to control him, and I think that is why they do that. They put those people in key position. So now, then I will go further and talk about the solution that Be Wise mentioned. as we are all here, we know that we will of course go back home one day. That is one of the reasons why we are here, in order to see what we can do to make our home better. Either Nigeria stay or everybody go in their separate way. No matter what, we have to go back home one day. So, like me, what the solution that I've been putting in place is that I talk to people back home. Okay, well, I think this is the best solution. We have to get to do our nation. This is what I'm going to gain from it. And I think if everybody who believe, either you are a Biafra and you want to, that is what you want, then you talk to people back home. This is why you have to embrace Biafra, like me. This is why you have to embrace or to do our nation. Because Nigeria is not working and it's not going to work. And like the question that you put in, put to every one of us, to me, Nigeria would have been a great country. It would have been a great nation. And I can tell you, if we all depart today, we will still remember. Boy, I could remember when I was in Nigeria. We will still be feeling, and I can tell you, you see that very day when, because I'm so certain, right, that Nigeria will break up. So you see that very day that we break up, that we go on our separate way, we will now sit down, and I can tell you, we cry and say, boy, it would have been even better if we stay together anyway. But we accept our fate. But that very day when it happens, we will feel so dejected. So to me, the best solution is to break down the country and let everybody go in their separate way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Isaac. Isaac always lands on that.
Can I make a closing remark?
Yeah, hold on. We're just saying our goodbyes to Isaac. Isaac always lands on that point. So Isaac is quite clear on that point, that really all of these things that we're talking about, yes, you can talk about it. A lot of it makes sense. Some of it does not make sense. But ultimately, the thing that is the one silver bullet to solve all the problems of that space is just for everybody to say, shake hands, thanks for meeting you, and goodbye. So the dividing of the country is the point that Isaac is looking to make. Isaac, a regular, of course, you all know Isaac, and of course, we'll be saying him again. So Isaac, thank you. Who wanted to make the closing remarks? Who just chimed in?
I want to make a remarks, please.
Oh, yeah, who is that? Sorry.
Be wise.
Yeah, carry on. Make your closing remark as well.
Yeah, I also buy the idea which Isaac put through. Like I was saying, we should be a solution team in this platform. That's what I look forward to. Let's be a solution team. What stops us from having a good hospital? What stops us from having good roads? What stops us from having all those?
No, but you are not. You are doing the opposite of what you said. You said you want to be a solution, and you are listing
problems. That's what I'm saying. Next time we come on this platform, we want to state solutions.
No, stop now. Stop now. Be wise. Stop now.
I cannot, because I'm making a closing remarks. That's
you have the space. Start now.
I have compiled a lot of things, but it's in my diary that can fix things that are going wrong. I'm not able to start reading them out now because I was washing my car out and I was doing this as well. So it's multitasking, doing all that. So yeah, because I'm running late. It's Monday morning here. Yeah, I will be at work.
Yes,
soon.
So what I'm trying to say,
what I'm trying to say, please, let's look forward to a solutions. People coming in, like bringing proper solutions, suggestions from young people, what we can do. Like every one of us is living in different parts of the world. What are you seeing in that country that you love most? When I arrived here, it was a little bit difficult for me, but I get funding from the government. So how can we make it happen back home? How can we bring things to realities? How can we start enjoying things that we enjoy where we are, here or back there in Nigeria. This is the solutions I want us to bring forth. It's not about because we have the opportunity or we just decided to live elsewhere and we enjoy stuff over there. We can sit comfortably where we are and say, oh, Nigeria is not working. Nigeria is not working. How can we, should we separate tomorrow, go our separate ways? What are you going to contribute to your own path? That is why.
What about, let's start with you. What are you going to contribute? Be wise, because you are listing all these things and you are pointing people and you are rebuking people and whatnot. But now we are putting you on that spot to come up with at least 1 or 2 or 3 solutions. You have the space, and if you are so passionate and fervent about it, then it should reel off your tongue. So what are your thoughts in the positive direction that you are trying to point everybody towards? So just give us an idea of this inclination that you have.
I am not a politician. I'm not looking up to one. But however, I can tell you, if I'm being employed under any government, be it in Nigeria
are you saying it's the politician that is the solution? I thought you said it was us that is the solution, and we should gather
What I'm saying is this. Sorry for the interruptions, but what I'm saying is this. I am not a politician. I'm not coming out to speak for anyone, but rather what I can do.
No, it sounds like don't dance palongo. Don't dance palongo. This is not strictly called dancing. Don't dance around. Stand firm and listen to the question. You've listed now that you'd like this sort of platforms to be a solution discussing sort of platform to have a positive tone, and we have listed enough of the wrongs that is wrong with the country, and we as people gathered from an international dimension, we should now be using the experiences that we've garnered wherever we are to profess solution. You are an international person, you're Australia-based, and now I am asking you then to address that point that you have put to come up with a solution. So name one solution that you want to point to.
That will be when I join you next time. Like I said, I'm running out.
And I look forward to that. Thank you very much for joining us, Be Wise. We'll come to Soji next. Soji, you're up.
Thank you.
Soji. Yeah.
Hi, Kyle. Can I just do something whereby one man went to Mo? I'm able to ask you a few questions as to your point of view, because I'm not very clear necessarily on where you are coming from, such that the next time I come on, if at all, I'll be able to speak more intentively as to the subject matter. Can I ask you, your point of view on Biafra, as you have done, or the Igbo territory, as you have done so much on the Igbo kind of narrative? What is your point of view? Do you believe in self-determination, or what is your understanding of the East as a whole?
Yes, but my thoughts on Biafra, and I express them freely, but I'll express them again. My thoughts on Biafra, one, is that I'm not even clear on what Biafra is, and nobody has clarified what Biafra is to me. Let me just put Mike on mute. Mike, we see you, and we'll hear from you in a minute. People have been waiting to hear from you, Mike. So my thoughts on Biafra are, I don't necessarily understand the concept of Biafra, but I understand the marginalization of the Igbo people. I think anybody that has any knowledge of the Nigerian space knows what that is all about. And I also understand the want for self-actualization. This is something that is just a human instinct to gather as you are in one commonality. So this is the expression all over the world, and France, for the French, etc., etc. So I understand all of that. But what I don't understand is some of the narratives that circles around it and some of the thrust of the agitation that they push. But the central idea of having a Biafra nation, or whatever incarnation or intonation that it does take, of course, I am at the forefront of the championing of that. The emancipation of the Igbo people, I'm at the forefront of that. I am with everybody in that march towards that direction. But I feel that does that desire for that emancipation, does it resonate in the deepest core of that narration? Because what I always put to people is that if the Igbos, they want to secede from the Nigerian space, then they will just secede from the Nigerian space. Because if sufficient enough of them want to secede, then they will make it happen. Because by number count, the Igbos are the largest ethnic grouping within the Nigerian space. So if the good 70–80% of the Igbos actually do want Biafra, then of course Biafra will happen, and will happen almost like a magic, almost overnight. So there's a milieu in the mix of that narration somehow, with all manners of pockets of intrigues and self-interest at play. So everybody wanting different things then under that banner. And a good example is one of the stories that we've covered in this particular session, where we're talking about Idris Abdul Karim, who is lambasting Buhari every day in the newspaper, but going to beg for money in the shadows, to the point that they've revealed his text messages to beg for money. We know the narrative of Charlie Boy as well. So there's all of this self-interest, selfish interest, group interest, sectional interest. So all of this mix. So all of this is in play. So I don't wholeheartedly buy into just the chanting and the ranting, but I do buy into the overarching idea of a Biafra nation, if that is indeed what the majority of the Igbo people want. So I know that is a bit long-winded, but I hope I landed on the point that you were looking for me to land on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, very, very interesting, that point of view, and I go along with a lot of it. Can I ask you further to Nnamdi Kanu being the person to bring into fruition the Igbo or Eastern nation?
Well, I don't buy into that idea at all. I don't think anybody that follows this channel will be surprised to hear that. I see Nnamdi Kanu as a businessman in essence. I see him as starting off as a businessman, but then of course events have superseded and overwhelmed, and the thing has now grown its organic wings. But I don't especially buy into his narrative. I'm not essentially convinced about his altruism, and I'm not totally convinced that he's vested as much as he should be in the whole thing. So of course you say that he has paid a lot of prices with a lot of, especially with the Python dance in his home, that they did not get his parents then, but then of course it is off the trauma of that he lost his parents. But I've never really been fully convinced about the chap. If you ask me, if you pin me to the wall and ask me what my opinion is, I see him as an opportunist. That is me being honest, and I've never shied from saying that, much to my chagrin on this channel, because of course the weight of abuse that I get whenever I say that, but that is my view.
Okay, thank you very much for answering those questions. It gives me a better understanding of where our host is coming from. I just like to say, as you understand it.
You're breaking off a bit, Sergey.
I seem to have this problem. I'm hoping I can be heard.
That's better. Where you are now is better.
Thank you. The way I see Nigeria, much like all of us, that it could have, should have, would have been one of the greatest nations. I don't think.
I can't. I didn't hear that, but hopefully others can. But I didn't hear what you just said.
I see. Are you? I hate. Oh, I'm not quite sure of my connection with my.
It fades in and out.
Yes. I know I had this problem the last time.
Yes. Okay, whilst you are looking for a good spot, let me just bring and I will on that. If you want to press me some more, because I press people, so of course I leave myself open to be pressed as well. So I'll get a better spot and then press me some more if you want to. But let me bring in voices that we've not heard yet. I'll bring Professor Data OO in, and then I'll bring Mike in, because it was quite controversial yesterday. And I think he left it till late to come back because he knew that people were going to give him a beating. But Professor Data O, you come in. And then Ovie, I know you're still there, but let us hear voices that we've not heard yet. So Professor Data O.
Hello, good day to everyone. Because You know, this show you're doing is not an easy thing. People should accept that. You understand? Okay. All I will still say is simple. It's similar to what Isaac said. You know, the nation, as I keep saying it, it what, let me use the word, it wants to be a great nation. But with what's going on, you know, I've seen the state of the nation diminishing the day and day on. And even though we're here, we'll go back one day. And when we go back, we have to go to our land. And if the governance in the land is not nice, it's not going to be good for us. So for me, I believe the nation should just split. It's not going to be easy, but for me, with what I'm seeing is splitting. I don't see it's going to, the tendency of it staying together is very low. Then I remember was it Ayo that was saying this platform should be much of a solution? Will I call it?
No, it was a guy called Be Wise. He came with all these big language and grand ideas, but then when I tried to press him, and then it was like the dog ate my homework, and then when I was coming back, I saw a big fat elephant and all of those kind of language. But I will have him back and I will press him. Yeah, carry on.
Okay, what I wanted to say, you know, one thing people should know, getting solutions come in many ways. You see, sometimes a platform will start small like this. You won't know what it will come up tomorrow. It can tend towards even that solution generating. Because most of these arguments we do here, it can, will I call it, a solution can come out of that. And again, I want to say is, as I said, solutions, you know, is not something that just comes overnight. I believe in one thing. Sometimes we agree to agree, or you disagree to disagree.
Yeah, so long as we are civil, that's just the one thing that I always insist on, just to be civil, because there's no reason to be uncivil, even if you disagree. So, you know, that's the one. I hate bad manners. That's just that's not my. I wouldn't even say it's my own personal thing. I think we all hate bad manners. So yeah. So that's the one thing. We can't all agree, as Professor Data O said. But Professor Data O, you stay there because of course you always stay with us. Let's hear from Mike. Mike, unmute yourself and just and give us. Are you Mike from yesterday? Just tell us who you are and where you're positioned in this conversation. Mike, unmute yourself, Mike, and okay, let's go to Ovie. Ovie, unmute yourself, and what are you making of it so far?
Well, great point being raised. I mean, I like the question raised by Soji regarding your perspective on Biafra. You know, and I mean, with more respect to the Biafran brothers, you know, there's so many things that there are three things that I think any group who are agitating or who are seeking for succession need to have on their side before they achieve any amount of success. And those things are, one, the political power. The Biafra, they need I don't believe they have the political power. I'll come to that and break it down what I mean by that. The financial might, I don't think they have the financial power. And at the same time, they don't have the international body cooperation. When I say the political power, how many local government in the East is the Biafrans are controlling politically? Local government first. None, as far as I'm concerned. I could be wrong. They are not controlling any local government politically. They are not controlling any state politically. How many of their members who believe in their, ideology are in the National Assembly, State National Assembly, Federal, or the Senate? They are lacking that. So that on its own, it reduces their power to an average of 50%. Then we're talking about the financial might. I don't think they can match the opposition now, which is the Nigerian state, when it comes to finance, to fight this fight. They don't have it. Two, the international cooperation. Before a state like the United States, the Britain, the French, the Chinese, whatever nation, before they decide to stick their chest out and go with your plight. They have to sit down and say, okay, what do we have to gain? So if I ask, what do Biafran have to offer the United States or the England, the British, before they will back their support? They can't lay claim to the oil that is in the Niger Delta. I'm an Edo man. I don't think an average Delta or whatever will agree the Biafran to claim ownership to the oil. So what is their back? What are they offering the international commission to liaise to be on their side? So they lack these three things. So I don't, that's why I said, I don't think succession is ever going to achieve, with the way they are going about it. If I was listening to Uzo Kalu earlier on today, he said there's nothing wrong with Nigerian constitution, that everything is going on fine. So when you have stakeholders like that, from that height, speaking with authority, backing the Fulani, they are the spokesmen for the Fulani nation. If you look, the Biafrans, the Biafran children who are in the National Assembly, who are in the Nigerian politics, they are pretty much the spokesperson of the Fulani nation. They use them to.
That's Oji Uzokalu. They did not spend a few weeks at Kirikiri a few months ago.
But he said it's the best thing that ever happened to him.
It's just the most ridiculous set of people we have in Nigeria.
He is a very grateful slave.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I couldn't. Mike, are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm
Mike?
ready. I'm ready.
Off you go. Introduce yourself and tell us how you. Did you mute yourself again? Unmute yourself.
Okay. One man went to Mao.
Yeah, sorry. Start all over again. Start all over again, because introduce yourself and then tell us how you are positioned in the discussion. Make it as short as you can, because we are now seeking to round off. So introduce and yeah, off you go.
Okay, thank you for bringing me in. My name is Mike. I'm just calling from Holland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you all. And it's because of the good things that you people are discussing here is what kept me awake up to this time around.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's about 2:23 in the morning here.
Sorry about that, but there you are.
Okay, so to start from what I heard from OV was talking about maybe the things that will not allow the Biafrans to achieve what they're looking for. But in my own opinion, it's not like that, because I'm part and parcel of all the whole thing. I'm a Biafra by birth. And if any of you can remember, some 60 years ago, our ancestors have fought for the same position to get their independence, because every Biafran is an ambitious person. We always want to move forward, and we see things from afar. So during the whole of this period, when I first thought about the freedom of Biafrans, they spend all they have in order to have their freedom, but eventually they were countered. But in our own generation, we have seen also those things our ancestors saw, and we are fighting for the same cause. Though many people will not agree with us, because they might think that we don't have all the ability, but the ability is inside us. We really want to have our freedom, because we want to move forward with our lives and live above what we are seeing in Nigeria. Nigeria is not promising us anything.
So sorry, what do you mean freedom?
Freedom, that's our independence. Independence.
Oh, yes, because you are not in bondage. You are a fully fledged citizen of one of the leading countries in the country on the planet called Nigeria. So you should wear that green passport with pride, Mike.
Yes, of course. But the only thing there that, like I told you, that we are ambitious people. Yes. We always want to move forward. Moving forward, like somebody was talking about this electricity, good roads, good education, good environment, all these amenities. We want something like this. So, but the place where we are never allow us to develop all these things, and nobody cares about it. We want to live about this level and move forward with other things.
But they are building second Niger bridge for you now.
To do this.
They are building second Niger bridge for you now.
That's not all we want. We want other things. We're not talking about electricity. You're not talking about good education. You're not talking about
I'm only,
infrastructure.
I'm only prodding at you, by the way.
We want seaport, we want airport, we want all these type of things. We want all these things to be in our side so that we can move forward. Know what I mean by moving forward? We don't want to stop with the Nigerian way of living that you can manage, you can just take it, or time will tell, or it will be fine. We don't want this anymore. We want to move forward.
Oh, okay, Mike, before I let you go, what do you think the chances are of Biafra happening, and can you give it a time span? So if you think Biafra would happen, and within what time period, just briefly, so do you think Biafra will ever happen? And if you think it will happen, can you give it a time period that you're anticipating? So briefly though.
Yeah, we believe that Biafra will always come, must surely happen. We are on it. And we cannot give a timetable, it will not be too far away.
Like give it, what, 20 years?
No, it cannot be up to 20 years. Maybe the next
10 years.
We're talking about 5, 6 years.
5, 6 years. Okay, yes. That's what I wanted. So, Mike, we're seeking to round off the show now. Okay. So I'll say my goodbye now. But of course, I look forward to you coming back again. So you know we're here. So anytime you want to listen. Of course, I expect you to listen all the time anyway. But I encourage people especially to come on, because it is these conversations really that interest people the most. And this is what people enjoy about it. And you've contributed to that. So hopefully we get to hear from you again. So Mike, we go next to, we go to Soji, and then we take his closing remarks or whatever else he has to say. And then we go to Professor Data O after that. So Soji, you're up.
Thank you. Can I be heard?
Huh?
Can I be heard? Are you hearing me?
No, I can't hear you. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. I must thank you in my closing remarks for the platform. I spent a lot of time outside within the comments, listening in before wanting to come on. And I'm very interested in where we are now as far as solutions are concerned. And having to give solutions and offer solutions and see where we can take things. My take on matters is that Nigeria is a fully complex society. We're not just inside Nigeria, as we all know, we are also in the diaspora. The diaspora has a lot to offer. We are all, I think, trying to get ready for the full emancipation of that nation. Now, I'm not sure whether or not Nigeria should stay as Nigeria. I'm not sure.
What would you like? What would you like to see? What would you like to see if you had the preference and the choice? Obviously, you have a preference. If you had the choice, if you had the decision.
You see, I'm simply not sure of what it should be. But my feeling is that the real power and consciousness of Nigeria is held in the South. And it's really time for the South to show its personality within the Nigerian space. Our influence in the South, East and West, is largely what make Nigeria. However, this energy has been usurped by the North and by foreign entities. So I do feel strongly that whether or not there's a breakup that could cause an implosion, and a scattering, a mass scattering that falls into the liking of the West as a whole, which will be disastrous for us. I feel that we need to have a well-managed explosion, if you like, whereby both East and West especially, they really need to get to the grip of who as individual tribes, so to speak. I don't like the term necessarily, but Nigeria is complicated and it's very difficult to talk about. However, it is into other parts of
Soji, yes, when you listen back to this session, you will hear it as we're hearing it. We're all eagle-eared waiting to hear what you have to say and listening to what you have to say, but it dips in and out and then it dips in and out. I think it's probably like a reception thing. So sometimes when you're in a particular spot, we hear you quite clearly, and then sometimes it then fades away. So that's been the experience. So just in a couple of sentences, sum up the takeaway, and then of course, like everyone else, promise to come back, because you are now a regular face on this platform now, so people look forward to hearing from you. So just sum it up briefly, and then promise to come back.
Very good. Solutions is kind of where we are within this discussion, if I'm being heard. And
yeah,
solution, what I am really wanting to establish for our nation, something that possibly we as a collective, this platform, could take as a document we want to see in Nigeria. The Nigerians in the diaspora, as we all know, are tremendously well. So we always have to scratch our heads as to why
no. Soji, we can't string it together. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm sure you will be back, but that is Soji, of course. I think the thrust of what Soji is saying to us is that, look, listen, we need to be a bit more elegant in our thoughts about this Nigerian thing. And that is why I'm not quite sure what term he used then. He said controlled explosion or something along those lines. So it's not so much just going around raging, but then of course, managed rage is effectively what I gleaned from that. But I'm sure Soji will come back at some point to expand on more on that thought. So Professor Data you're up next with your closing remarks before we go to you, Ovie.
Okay, I'm going to close. It's simple. But before I close, Ovie, I have this to tell you. Please, I want you to know something. Sometimes when you look at somebody, you may underestimate the person. Nnamdi Kanu, it's true he has saboteurs. It's true we don't have that financial might. But with what we have put up something formidable. Why is the Nigerian government against us? Don't remember, in history of Africa, the only war that took place in Africa that those people were able to make a weapon, a bomb, is Biafra. Are you aware of that? Do you think you should underestimate those type of people? You should not. You should not.
Professor Datao, qualify that bomb, because you know, even the Boko Harams, they are putting IEDs all over the place.
Good. In the history of all the wars in Africa,
right,
it is only Biafra people that were able to make their own indigenous bomb. Go and research and come back.
Yeah, well,
I'm with you. Go and research.
Because you see, bomb is a very abstract. Okay, Ovie, he pointed it at you, so you come back in and.
So what I'm saying is,
but don't talk over each other.
What I'm trying to point out this thing to Ovie is that he should not. All you said, you brought out good points, but I'm laughing because you see this Biafra is coming to pass, and as a result of Biafra's agitation, Oduduwa woke up. And Oduduwa, I respect. I will always say it, I respect the agitation, especially when they started the agitation. They wrote to the caliphate and made the intentions known. I respect them for that. So what I'm simply saying.
Can I just respond to that, please, if you don't mind?
Okay.
I'm not in any way, underestimating Nnamdi Kanu. I mean,
okay,
for any man that will get this Fulani government attention, I call that for that person, not to talk of the global attention that is goes now. So I respect Nnamdi Kanu. I am rating that movement, that agitation, the Biafra, against our opponent, in this case, Nigeria. So the three things I pointed out, the political will, the power, the international power, and the international community, you have to weigh them against that of your opponent. You understand? You can be as powerful as you can, but if you are not as powerful as your opponent, then your power is not going to be found. What you are doing, what the Biafra movement is succeeded in doing, is helping the Fulani government to make a cheap point. They are using the Biafra movement to deny the Igbo sons who wanted the president is so bad. They are using that as an avenue to deny them. That's what the movement is succeeded in doing, and that's why I respect the Fulani government. We can see whatever we can call their own name you can, but they are playing the game at the best you can take at the highest level. It's a game, and they are doing it, as I say, it's unfortunately it's a game of life and death. So what the agitation is doing, the Fulani government just sit down and using that agitation to score a point for themselves. So I am not saying Nnamdi Kanu is not powerful in any shape or form, but they are talking a bit against Nigeria here. How powerful are you going to be to say, okay, you can actually stand Nigerian state in these 3 areas? So that's my point.
Okay, very good. And one thing I know, I've come to find out, it's not always the strongest person that wins. It's not always the strongest person.
Yeah, but in most instances, put that in percentage terms.
In this case, you are fighting against a state that is still largely owned by foreign entity. So when you are destabilizing the affairs of the Nigerian state, you are indirectly destabilizing the inflow of cash that goes to London, the DC, and every other nations of the world who still have stake. Those are the people you are fighting with.
Let's let Professor Data round off his thoughts, because we do now need to. Yeah.
Okay.
Carry on, Professor.
The round of remarks is simple. Yesterday, I remember the lady, I can't remember her name, that spoke, made it clear. Okay, she was like making it clear this is where our problem's coming from. That
was Meg,
I
think her name was.
Yeah, and that is true. I acknowledge what she's saying. And the simple thing I want us to know, that is the main origin of our problem. And again, the nation just has to disintegrate, because the Fulanis, if there's no platform as Nigeria, I don't think they will have any way to operate. When that platform ceases to operate, they are disarmed. There's something in my language we say. I will say it in my language and interpret it in English. It goes like this. What it means is, you first of all secure a land before you go to secure a mat. You know what that means? Simply that, okay, if you have a mat, and you don't have a land or a space to lie on, it's almost like useless. So, why I brought up this, call it strong saying, is that we have to see that this nation is disintegrated for us to have a headway, because it's just a pity. As I always said, it's a game. The Fulanis are there. In short, I hope when Oluga came to Nigeria, then he assessed the 3 political groups. He made it clear the Igbos are not going to be trusted in government. He said the Yorubas are cowards or so. But one thing he said, the Fulanis, he made it clear that those people are good to manipulate, and also they're willing tools. And he cashed on.
Okay, Professor Data, we'll leave it there, especially that you have called Yorubas cowards. So I shall be phoning their laugh for you.
That is his statement. Now listen, that is his statement. But one thing I know is this. See, I have mixed with Yorubas. That tendency is there. But there's one thing I know with Yorubas. Now, no, please don't see me as insultive. I know what I said.
You are politely calling us cowards.
Now, listen. Listen. I have mentioned our own area, but there's one thing I know with Yorubas, and I will ever respect it. Once they come together, my brother, Yorubas, they're more easily coming together. And once they're able to do that, their elders are more supportive. One of the biggest problem with my Igbos is our elders are not supporting the agenda. If our elders could have supported the agenda, this Biafra would have moved forward.
Professor Data, we have to seek to round it off. But of course, you know, I mean, we look forward to seeing you now. You know, you're now a regular face on this platform. So we look forward to seeing you again so that you can expand on that thought again. And then the next time you come, we will start from the point that you call Yoruba's coward, and you will see me wearing my boxing gloves.
Anytime I come, no problem. I'm there. That's my statement. As I told, that's what Lord Lucas said. I found some truth in it. But as I said, you know, there's just like how they say Igbo people are money conscious. You know, the statement they say that if an Igbo man is dead, if you shake money, and he doesn't get up, you know that he's actually dead. Every tribe has a kind of connotation, or will I call it a remark that may not sound pleasant, you know.
Okay.
But as I said, I you know, with all due respect to what I said, I'm just saying
I'm
what
only
I
joking.
said.
Anyway, I know you mean normalies, but yes, Professor Data, we'll see you tomorrow. But I will be wearing my boxing gloves, so come prepared. Okay, so that's Professor Data O, a gentleman. Of course, I don't have to tell anybody that Professor Data O is a gentleman. You can already hear it in his intonation. So before I come to you, Ovie, I want to read you a few comments because you are popular in the comment section. This is Darren, but why is Ovie, actually he came fully charged. So let me start from where he's charged up. Let me see. So he starts from here. Nigeria is dead, Ovie. Your people have been denied for over 60 years. So that is where he first came. It must have come earlier, but that's where I picked it up. And it comes again. This is Darren Jones to you, Ovie. But why is Ovie defending slavery? So why are you defending slavery, Ovie? This is Darren Jones. And he still continues. Darren Jones again. Okay, Ovie, now I understand. We should all be cowards and forget our destiny. So somebody else comes again. Joe comes to join in. This Ovie seems to be gloating about the success of the Fulanis. Where is he from? Is his people okay with Fulani hijacking power in Nigeria? So all those questions to you, Ovie, so you can incorporate them in your closing remarks. Over to you, Ovie.
The questions are you know, are funny. You know, somebody saying that once somebody said Nigeria is dead. Nigeria is not dead. I'm still alive. You are still alive. Everybody is still alive. So we are Nigerian. It's all in our head. So we are not there. We are still very much alive. And somebody said, why are you defending slavery? No, I'm not defending slavery. I'm just acknowledging it, that we are still slaves, whether you like it or not, in our own land. That's the sad part. Slave to see the slave master now. Forget if we are here, you know, blaming the Fulani man. The whole nation, if you want to see like that, country as in Nigeria, we are slaves. We are tenants in our own land. We don't control anything. We don't control the economy. The economy is largely dominated by international corporations and international businesses, so it's not in our control. The large percentage of our GDP come from oil. We don't control the companies or any thing that make that things run to. The Constitution, which supposed to be our God, who governs us, which shapes our way of life. It's a copy and paste of that of our United States of America. Doesn't appeal to us in any way. So if you are claiming that you are not a slave, think about that too. Your religion, I don't know religion that you belong to, still controlled largely by the external factors. So I don't understand where you are saying that if I'm defending slavery. I'm not defending it. I'm only acknowledging that, yeah, we are still locked in that slavery mentality until we begin to acknowledge that. It's hard for us to, move out of it. So I don't understand why we will single out the Fulanis and play. I'm not defending the Fulani. I only acknowledge the way they are playing the game. It is, I said, it's a game. Yes, life and death, but if you see it that way, then I think the Yoruba elite just understand that. They are playing the game, even though, they are taking the game to them, but sitting here and blaming one tribe, you're actually empowering them, giving them ammunition to, to keep winning. That's exactly what we are doing. I can sit here and blame the Yoruba man too. I mean, I grew up in my village in Ososo. I grew up speaking Yoruba. How come is that? They influenced me. I can at the same time blame them. My father's name is Agbaji, is a Yoruba name. So I can blame them for whatever, marginalization of with the Benin people. So it's I understand. It's beyond that now. At this point, we are all in the same boat. We are in deep shit. So how do we get out of it is the problem. We need to group ourselves as a group does already. You have the elite and every one of us. And the elites are not seeing religion, they are not seeing tribe, they are not seeing they are one. What they are focused on is the power. So that supersedes everything. So we need to have that common ground. How we're going to go about it is the problem, but it's not going to be. It should be a sprint.
Okay, Ovie, I think that's a good spot to leave it. You see, the problem with the problem is Ovie, you come and you make all these interesting comments, but then you come so late, then I don't really have the time to fully enjoy and really pin you down on all these psychedelic ideas that you have all the time. But of course, I'm expecting you to come back because there's a lot more that I want to hear from you, and I think the audience they're taking to you as well. Of course, most of them might not necessarily agree with you, but then that is the whole idea, to make the statement out there, to excite a thought, and then, of course, to then generate a conversation from there. So Ovie, of course, now, if you don't know him, now you do. That is Ovie. You see now why I did that warning when he was coming in. There's rascality still in him, but we will enjoy that rascality a bit more, hopefully, if you choose to come and join us again. So that is Ovie. There's one last person that is seeking to come in. So I'll bring you in now. Box, yeah, you're up.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me, please?
Actually, Ovie,
yeah,
I'm bringing you back because this guy came on. He came on because of you. Like I said, you are generating a lot of. So you have just about a couple of minutes. So off you go, Box. Introduce yourself and then get straight to the point.
Okay. My name is Namdi, and I'm calling from Asia anyway.
Okay.
Can you hear me, please?
We can't hear you. Carry on. You said you wanted to speak with Ovie.
Yeah, I want to speak with Ovie. Yeah. I think Ovie, you actually made a strong point. Okay, when you say that the Biafrans were lacking three things, and one of the things you said we don't have the power, and we don't have the international recognition, right? And the financial power, right? So the first one is the political power. Then the last is the financial power, right? Then I actually think you made a point, okay? But you are missing a little bit something, okay? I can recall in 1990s when Czechoslovakia was about to break up, okay? You know the country called Czechoslovakia. Yeah, so when they were about to break up, it was actually the Slovakians elite who are in power, and the Czechs elite who were in power. They were the two people who collaborated and agreed to a disintegration. And that was why it happened peacefully. You understand? So that power is pretty important. You understand? As you said, I go with you there. Okay. But I just want to let you know, and I don't know if one man wants to more is listening or something. I just want to let you know that in the case of Biafra, in the case of Biafra, we don't expect a peaceful revolution or resolution. Okay? You understand? It's not going to be a peaceful resolution. So when we talk about referendum, I just think it's a mere sentiment. It's not going to happen. Okay? Because a referendum will only happen if we have that representative at the top level who will say, okay, the North, this is what we want. We have understanding. There must be this Biafran's elite who must champion the referendum. You understand? So when you knowing that IPOB is a proscribed group, so it is pretty impossible. You understand? So we are hoping to take it by force. So that means there must definitely be a civil war. And this is why people expect.
No, you have to be mindful of just what you say, because of course you cannot just casually. Do you actually have any understanding of what the meaning of what you've just said? Because
yes,
all this braggadocious language, puffing chest out and whatnot, you know, you have to be mindful because the price. Let me show you. Just stay there. Let me show you the price of what you just said. This is a person that is off your thoughts. So watch this guy.
Okay.
No, it's coming.
Okay.
So that's an IPOB. That's an ESN operative right there, and it was abandoned, of course, after this happened to this fella. So this is really the actual real life repercussions of this sort of like a braggadocious sort of language that are comfortable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I just think it's a reality. Why I think it's a reality is that when you look at, let's say, when you hear the IPOB man, okay, he says we're going to get Biafra in a peaceful way. Okay, he said it's going to be a peaceful resolution. Okay, and I don't see that peaceful. I don't see it happening. You understand, Ovi? What do you think about that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm happy that you agree with me that you know, the political will power is not on your side.
Very important. Yes,
it's not on your side. You use this Slovakian situation as an example, that they had to come together and cooperate before they could take get their victory. So who is Biafra cooperating with? Obviously, the Yoruba are not on their side. No section of the Nigeria is actually on their side in that regard. So who are they going to contribute? I'm agree that you understand that too. Now you said they're going to take it by violence, by war. Well,
it's definitely going to happen.
Again, you have to measure the opponent. You are taking the war to the Nigerian.
Yes,
state.
I understand.
Listen,
we understand. Yes.
Listen. What you should one thing you should understand that the first civil war, one of the core main reasons that they lost that war is that period to that time they still depend on it. Even they still have a reasonable amount of the control of their resources, their military and all that. But at this point, as we speak, 90% of what make that region goes round is largely depends on the Nigerian state. So, but if you decide to go violent without them even using their soldier against you, just to cut the supplies or influence of those things that people stay alive. So you don't have the power to go head to head with the Nigerian state. You don't have it.
I understand. Yes, I understand.
You
are not going to
Box and Ovie. Unfortunately, pressure of time as well. I just thought it was you were Box. Sorry, I put you on mute just to get in there. I just thought you were coming to make a quick comment, but it looks as though you're going to really have a full-on discussion with Ovie. Ovie is a regular, so I'll invite you to come back at Box. And of course, if you come back and you call Ovie out, I'm sure he will leave whatever it is that he's doing and rush quickly to come and say no. So I'm just happy to because we've already gotten Ovie's closing remarks, but I will invite you back as I seek to round off. So Ovie, thank you, and Box, thank you as well. And I do seek to round off now, actually, because it is now late hours where I am. So interesting session as usual, and as ever, it started slowly, but then of course, you guys always come in a lot later, and then it gets interesting when we're several hours into it. So I encourage you to come earlier if you are inclined to come at all. Come earlier, and when I'm trying to cajole people to click on the hyperlink to come and chat with me, I feel lonely sometimes. So when I have you guys on the screen, I'm a lot happier. So click on the hyperlink quicker so that we get more input from you. So that's really how it should work. But I do thank you for the interesting interactions. It's been quite just engaging. We could have gone on for another 3 hours and quite easily, because a lot of opinions are still left unexpressed. But we will reconvene tomorrow, of course, for 10:30 p.m. UK time when the conversation carries on. So we covered quite a few topics. I usually read through the comment section, but we're that late into time that I'm not going to do that this time around. So we started off, we thought it was a slow news day, and we're speaking about our Opuzodema and the Igbo governors convening. We even had to reach to people like Idris Abdul Karim and Festus Kiyamo just to pad out a presentation for today. But then, of course, it has grown organically as it often does, and that is all thanks to you. So this conversation has been cut short, but it doesn't end here. This is the opening salvo. The real conversation, as you all know, carries on in the comment section. So I invite you to go to the comment section of the video to carry the conversation on, and I will join you in that comment section. But here, I say peace. Two legitimate fronts that they can go through. So using the pressure of never having had the presidency, we've had maybe one person, but two instances of Yoruba presidency, Obasanjo as a military head of state and then as a civilian. We've had countless Hausa Fulanis, but we've never really had an Igbo president. So they've been hammering that point, and then they are using that point to canvass other sections of the country to say it is our turn, and then they are trying now to promote names. So they are doing things. What says you?
That is not good enough. Just because you are clamoring that you've been, victimized, legitimate disfranchised. So I'm an Edo man. I can also claim the same thing, but that is not enough to say, okay, we're going to give you the president. When I say what are the proactive measures, I will use Bola Tinubu as an example. That is a man that means business. That is a man that wants to be president. They are just there complaining about the heel that has been done to them. That is a fact. Nobody's going to argue about that. But if you want a president, you want to become a president for countries such as Nigeria, when I say proactive measure, how many of these people are in the north right now bargaining? It's about give and take. What are you giving? If you are coming to tell me as an Hausa man, as an Edo man, I should support you as a president, what are you giving me? Why should I support you? Telling me that, you've not had it since the beginning of Nigeria, that's not an excuse. As I said, Nigeria is a very complex one. Everybody can lay claim to that. I have not been president before. When I say practical, what are you doing? How many Yoruba people have you conversed on your side right now? How many of the Igbos? How many of the Fulani? How many of the Edos? You people are just there in one city, in one zone, fighting yourself. Between these four people that you put on screen, none of them can actually sit down one-on-one and say, okay, I'm giving in this. Let me step down for you. No, they can't do that. And if you cannot do that in the game of democracy, you can't move. You can't go anywhere. You will just be on the spot making noise.
Yes, you are. There are things that you said that I agree with, and as I often say, it's a complex one when it comes to the Igbo presidency.
Nigeria as a country is a very complex country.
Yeah, no, exactly. And even that micro space, the complexity of that micro space is enough of an example to just let you know how complex the Nigerian setting is. So different interests within the Igbo setting, as we've already said, you have the quarters that want Biafra, you have the quarters that want the Igbo presidency, and then you have the quarters that want restructuring, and you have the quarters also. These are usually the money people that will just support some malam and continue to collect their dollars. But what we are yet to identify, and what I am seeking to identify in the course of this interaction, is a possible Igbo champion. This is the question. You've mentioned Bola Tinubu, and that is the example that I've said. Bola Tinubu, he doesn't necessarily have the backings of the Yorubas. In fact, quite a lot of Yorubas hate that guy, but that doesn't stop him. That doesn't stop him. He is singular, is potent, and is charging at it with full force. He was in Kano giving them bags of rice. He's in Katsina giving them money. Hold on, Ovie. Let me make the point, and then you can come back. You see, this is a guy that is already on the march. Don't forget, 2023, the campaign has started already, and
it's over already.
So he's already on the march. He's buying them up at the APC party. He's romancing them with bags of rice and money, the Talakawas in the north, because of course he knows that he has already bought and paid for Yoruba land. And if you can then capture the hearts and minds and the influence of the North, then he has the presidency. So he is already in the move. But my question is, the Igbo question, one, we know that they want Biafra, but we're not really talking about Biafra this time around, because of course there's also a conversation to be had about the Igbo presidency. So if we have that conversation about the Igbo presidency, which champion amongst the Igbos has the potency, the gravitas, the status, and the largeness of personality, like somebody like Atiku Abubakar, who has started his own campaign as well, Bola Tinubu, who has started his own campaign as well. But what we are hearing from the Igbo quarters is that it is our turn now, give it to us. So this is what I'm looking to. What says you?
That is what I said. They are not serious. They are not ready. You can't be asking, as I said, what are the proactive measures that you are taking? It's a game, and a game of power. Anything goes. It transcends emotions. At that level, it doesn't matter who you are, how you feel. What are you bringing into the table? How many people can you converse to be on your side? And as far as I'm concerned, no Igbo man is actually doing that right now. Instead, what I'm seeing that the Igbos are doing, they are actually seriously clamoring to be selected as a vice president. That's what I'm seeing they are clamoring for, not to be the number one guy. They are
second best again.
That's what
second best again.
As far as I'm concerned, that's what, and they may not even get it.
But this is the thing. Let me put you on the spot, Ovie. If there were to be an Igbo president, can you think of a name and put up like just a small little argument to defend that name? A lot of people talk about Senator Abaribe, who I like. I like his honesty and his presentation, but I don't think he's strong enough. But I don't know what you think. But can you think of a name, or you just don't think it's just total? It's just total nonsense. The idea of an Igbo. What do you think? Can you come up with a name?
A name that transcends that region, that can actually easily be sold to the northerners, to the. I don't. Peter Obi has been on the front of politics for the past couple of years now, so it can easily be sold. Aboribe, yes, I don't know, because again, one thing we should understand that there is a correlation between campaign money and electability. So that's the angles where is this money going to come from to sell this person? Who is ready to put his million out there for this person? So
hold on.
For me, I think Peter will be stand out as it is.
Yeah, I'll take that name because that was what I pushed you for. But just to the point that you are saying campaign money and electability and everything. When Buhari came in, he didn't have a penny to his name, but he has the name recognition and he has the potency in the